What I'm talking about today is a mega project for Missouri. And I've traveled with two governors, one Democrat, one Republican over the years, and we visited many industries looking for that big project and the effort that people in the House, and when I was serving under Tom Dempsey and he was chair teaching me the ropes, the question came to us, why can't Missouri land the big deal? The reason is we don't have something to ask for the big deal. We don't have a fund of money like New Mexico, Texas, that'll throw $250, $350 million cash to a company like Toyota or Mississippi and say, you know, use this at your discretion, whatever. We've developed a plan through economic development that issues some tax credits, but the jobs has to come first. Building and development has come first, and the project is paid back interest and principal with a base interest rate for negotiation of 5.1%. This project sets the stage for Missouri to be open for business, just like we did workers' comp and tort reform years ago. One of the reasons this company looked at Missouri is because, number one, our educated and our workforce is just absolutely second to none. We will be creating an aerospace corridor between St. Louis, Kansas City, and Wichita. For those of you who don't know, Wichita has Learjet, which is also owned by Bombardier. We believe that this project will offset many manufacturing jobs in the car industry and others in the home building, and will send a message to companies in the world and send that we are in the mix for a global economy, and we want the world to look at our state. This is a $1 billion project. This assumes that the state will issue a maximum $40 million per year for the entire 22 years, equaling $880 million. This, as stated above, the actual legislation says the credit shall be the lesser of the $40 million actual payroll or a specified schedule. The deal being negotiated between DED and Bombardier today stands at less than $450 million in tax credits. The cost per job has been discussed, and simply taking the math of the maximum $40 million per year times 22 years and dividing that by 2,100 jobs and concluding the answer, the cost of job is equal to $400,000 per job is incorrect. The math fails to take into account the repayment and the fiscal benefit of those jobs. With a required internal rate of return accomplished over a 22-year term, the actual cost per job to the state of Missouri will be zero. The actual cost of the job is zero.
I would concur that this is a unique opportunity for the state of Missouri. And the danger, it's one thing to pass the bill and not get the deal. That's not great, but it's not the end of the world. To not pass the bill and not put ourselves in the position, I think, creates irreparable harm in the future as we try to go after these deals. That statement in itself says Missouri cannot compete for mega deals. So I think that's what we also have to remember about as we move forward on this legislation.
Obviously, the department remains very excited about this opportunity, especially in a time when we're experiencing a tough economy and losing manufacturing jobs all across the Midwest. We are excited about the opportunity to plant a seed here, which will put thousands of manufacturing jobs in Missouri for years to come.
I've been in economic development 25 years in Michigan and in Missouri now. This is one of the three biggest economic development deals that I've experienced in those 25 years of business. These do not come along very often. The opportunity that has been presented to the state of Missouri on this deal that has driven the crafting of this legislation is literally once a decade. My point would be that if we lose this opportunity, it'll be another decade before we have one of this magnitude again. That's just flat out the case. They just don't come along that often.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Dan Meehan. I'm president of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we're here to show our support for this bill in the Senate and to try to get the project moving. If you look at what you all have been an integral part of, what this Department of Economic Development has been doing a great job of, it's improving the business climate in the state of Missouri. And we do that with a goal to get to the higher echelon of states in the country in competing in a truly global marketplace for these types of projects. It's been said by earlier witnesses that this, if we leave this one at the table, it will do irreparable harm in our ability to attract these opportunities. We wholeheartedly agree with that. We've done an excellent job in opening up the state with quality jobs, with other responsible incentives, and we believe that this incentive package will be looked at by the rest of the world as to see what Missouri is doing and how far we've come. We're looking at 2,100 high-paying quality jobs, and we'd love to see that land in Kansas City. And I'd be happy to take any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Oh, well, we're popping up all over, but Senator Crowd, then Senator Kent.
If I could, in that, whether we talk in committee hearing or not, that's, I mean, the bill says 1,000 jobs. You just said 2,100 jobs. And that's kind of, and I just use that, Dan, as an example of the disconnect between how interchangeably we talk about contract terms or potential contract terms and legislation, and why I so appreciate Director Steinhoff's and Senator Shields' acknowledgments that as negotiations go forward, the more concrete we can take 2,100 into the statute. If we can say 2,100 into the statute, that may make it better, if that's what we're talking about. But I just use that example of kind of the disconnect in which we're talking about.
Well, I've heard that estimated, and I think what the department has done in the past few years is demonstrate a level of credibility to you and to the state as to backing up what they say they're going to do. And this just gives them another tool in the toolbox to attract a mega deal, which is, like Mr. Marcus has said, it doesn't come around too often. And it provides opportunities that we definitely need in the state of Missouri. I hope you
come around twice in the span of 3 years. So.
But see, from everything we're hearing, it's pretty close right now, and it's gotten to the Missouri Senate. The House has passed it, so we're looking for you all to. I hope you get the answers you're looking for, Senator, and you have a right to that. We're not saying to do anything in secret, but I think we need to trust the people right behind me who have done such a good job in the last couple of years as well.
The St. Louis business community is united in our support for this measure. We recognize that the initial mega project under consideration is being viewed for the Kansas City area, but the key point for us, and the reason that we're united in our support for this measure, is because it positions the state of Missouri, of which we all are part, for these kinds of mega projects for the future. And second, we believe it's imperative that Missouri get in the game, as Dan Meehan just said, with the other states that are competing for these kind of mega projects. If I could read you just a couple of lines from what I submitted in writing. We believe companies and economic development consultants around the nation, and indeed in other countries, are watching Missouri closely to see if we're ready, willing, and able to join the ranks of those states which have shown that they are truly interested in attracting these types of major, high-impact, job-creating opportunities. We urge you to allow our state to join them. Thank you.
So moved. Motion made by Senator Kennedy, second by Senator Engler, to do pass Senate Committee Substitute for House Committee Substitute for House Bill 2393. Questions? Christopher, call the roll.
Pierce-Hauer.
Aye.
Dempsey. Aye. Crowell.
Aye.
Engler. Aye. Goodman. Vogel. Aye. Callahan.
No.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Goster.
Aye.
McKenna. Aye. Schumacher.
Aye.
By a vote of 9-1, we have voted out due pass Senate Committee Substitute for House Committee Substitute for House Bill 2393.